This Game 7 result will define everything for Oklahoma City. This season will be stamped as a success or a failure in just a few hours' time. 83 wins, 21 losses, all sum up to the 105th contest of this season, holding all of the weight for the blue and orange, holding all of the weight behind SGA's MVP season, all in 48 minutes of basketball. Will the Thunder be considered one of the greatest NBA teams ever assembled? Or will they be considered the greatest team in OKC franchise history? All of that is hinging on this game right here coming up in a few hours time, and we're going to break it down. It's been a long ride this NBA season, and it's coming to a close one way or another. I just want to say before we launch into the specifics of this, what's going on, guys? Gabriel Ebersole here with Thunder Digest, pointing out real quick that 68% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. The Thunder won a franchise record 68 games this year, and they are looking to cap it off in the final contest of the NBA season. We're just a few subs away from 3.5K. Make sure you sub up so you can catch Bryson's live post-game reaction to this. You won't want to miss it. So let's launch into this without any further ado, because we have arrived at a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. I am kind of scared, very excited, I will say, but this is what we live for in sports. We have gone the distance in this series. We've seen Tyrese Halliburton heroics early. We've seen MVP performances from Shai in the middle. A great Game 6 out of a great Game 5 out of J Dub. Let's not get that twisted. And then a Game 6 blowout from the Pacers, all accumulating to a Game 7 in a few hours' time. This is going to hold all of the weight on Oklahoma City's season right now, obviously, if they can get their first championship in their franchise history. But on top of that, how they're looked at historically when we view this team in a decade from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, on how good this team was in the grand scheme of NBA history. Let's get into it and let's break down exactly why this is. For starters, the Thunder are one of the youngest teams in NBA history. We look here, they're the second youngest team by average age in the NBA right now, and they're surrounded by bottom feeders. These four teams around us all hold a pick 5 through 11, and all but the Trailblazers hold multiple first round picks. These are rebuilding teams, but yet we're young and on the come up. That's not what you would think looking at this, especially when you consider we have two massive advantages right now in this game. We're looking at a team that has dominated a Game 7 already in this postseason against three-time MVP Nikola Jokic. They have blown him out 32 points to win a Game 7 in the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. And on top of that, we have home court advantage in Game 7, which cannot be overstated enough. I'm so glad we are playing at home. The Pacers have been a middling road team for much of the season and playoffs. We have been a great team at home. This is a massive advantage to us, and probably a big reason why we are minus 300 favorites coming into this game. But when we look at how we dominated Game 7 against Denver, it's the same formula we've been following all year, guys. I can't stress that enough. Winning the turnover battle, we won 23-10. We got in transition and we made easy baskets out of the transition game. We haven't been playing great in the half court against the Pacers, so getting transition baskets is going to be very vital. We haven't shot well from three, and that's going to be very vital in just limiting the amount of times we have to settle for threes if we're not hitting, like we haven't been hitting for most of the playoffs. This team has been 13th out of 16 teams in the playoffs in 3-point percentage. That was coming into the finals. We haven't shot the ball well in the finals either at all to raise that percentage from the 33.5 mark it was at coming in. This team has not been a great shooting team, and we need to recognize that and find other ways to get easy baskets. Now, we also take a look. We didn't shoot the ball from three great in Game 7, yet we still blew them out. How was that? We held them to even worse shooting from the 3-point line. This is going to be so important against the Pacers, and this will define whether this game is a win or loss. A team that has lived and died by the three, lived and died by going hot and cold from the 3-point line. We need to keep the Pacers from getting in a rhythm, from getting 4 threes in a row to fall like they had a couple games this season where they've had success. We need to limit that, and that is going to play a massive role in if we can win this season and cap it off, or if we're going home empty-handed and disappointed again. Now, when we take a look at the team and who their leader is, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's no secret. The MVP, when we look at Game 7 against Denver, he was the leader. 35 points. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys. 35 points on 12 for 19. Ultra efficient. What he's done all season. Getting to the free throw line for 8 of 9. What he's done all season. 36 minutes. This guy had a plus 32 rating, and he does it both ends of the floor. 3 steals, and like I said, that plays heavily into the transition basketball we need to play in this game. Where need to play this is essential for us to win. We need to get steals, win the turnover battle, and run the floor. We need to win the points in the paint. We need to not allow heavy offensive rebounds. It's the same formula that has been granting us wins all season long. We cannot stray from it. Yes, having Caruso play on Jokic in game seven was a ballsy call by Daigneault, and it helped us get the win. But sticking to the fundamentals in the same formula that even in that game got us the dub is what's going to cap off this season, put the punctuation mark on it, and bring home the Larry O'Brien to Oklahoma City for the first time ever. That's what's going to get it done, and that's what's going to define this game, this season, and this team. Now, when we take a look at SGA and what he has done, it is important to look that he has had an amazing season, right? This is a guy who is an all star, an all NBA first teamer, the Irvin Magic Johnson Western Finals MVP, the NBA MVP, and the scoring champion. This is an all time great season already, but if he wants to move into that upper echelon of one of the best guard seasons of all time, this is a Michael Jordan caliber season if you can cap it off with a finals MVP and a win here. I don't see how it isn't. I can't see any argument. It's a two-way player who is just atop the NBA on both sides of the ball, and he has gotten it done all season. But when we take a look at the finals and what he's done, yes, these are fantastic numbers, right? We're seeing 30.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. But when we look at how he's getting them, the field goal percentage is down a little bit. It's under 50 to 47.3. The 3 point percentage really down, 28.6%, and he's only made multiple threes in one game so far. The free throw percentage, it's up to 91.4, but we're not getting to the he's not getting to the free throw line as often. He's not hitting as many of these shots. And then on top of that, we're almost seeing 4 turnovers a game. And ladies and gentlemen, SGA has a negative plus minus, granted by like I think it's 4 in these finals. This is a guy who is the MVP and who has thrived all season on dominating the floor on limited minutes, his impact has still been monumental. When we take a look at what SGA has provided in the regular season, this guy was up to 32.7 a game, up in rebounds to 5, up in assists at 6.5. His steals are the only stat that he is doing better in the finals in. He's at 2 steals as opposed to 1.7. But the turnovers are also up from 2.4 up to that 3.8 we saw, and the field goal percentages, it's down below 50. The 3 point percentage has fallen off, and he's not making as many of those. Granted, I saw these numbers. I'm not taking like this is very great basketball still being played by SGA, but it's not the standard that he set during the regular season and the standard that got us 68 wins and that moved that needle to an all-time great level team. This has got to be he's the MVP of the league. He's got to unequivocally be the best player on the floor in game seven. No questions asked. Unless J Dub comes out and drops a 50 ball, you won't hear me complain about that, by the way. He has got to be the most dominant player on the floor, no questions asked in game seven. That's what the MVP does, especially in high pressure situations when the team needs him. We need Shai to be the best player on the floor. Therefore, this will define his season and how great he has been this season. I need to see an amazing game out of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in game seven. I can't stress it enough. But when we talk about other implications for this team, right? Will this be the greatest team in Thunder history if they don't win? We don't know that because, yes, this Thunder team in 11-12 had 60 wins and lost in the finals also. But when you look at their playoff run, they swept Dirk's Mavericks, they beat Kobe's Lakers in 5, and they beat the San Antonio Spurs, the dynastic San Antonio Spurs, in 6 en route to the finals before they ran into an all time great team in LeBron's Big Three Heat and lost in 5. This team only had 60 wins in the regular season compared to our 68. They didn't have the best point differential in the regular season like we did. However, based on their playoff success and what they've done, you could argue that they just ran into another all-time great team that kept them from getting that ring. With all due respect to the Pacers, and obviously I'm respecting them at this point, they drug us out to 7. They've performed in the clutch over and over again, except for Benedict Mathurin with those free throws. But the Pacers are not going to be seen as an all-time great team, win or loss. They had 50 regular season wins, and their road through the playoffs. Yeah, they beat the Cavs pretty convincingly, but other than that, they didn't beat any historically great teams like a Kobe team, a Spurs team, or a Dirk team. Like they didn't beat any of those teams. There is an argument if we don't win this game that the 2011 2012 Thunder are still a better team. And that was an argument people were having even throughout the year. If we take a look, right, we're seeing that Russell Westbrook, when asked whether the 2012 team would beat today's Thunder in a 7 game series, this was during the playoff series of the Nuggets and the Thunder. Westbrook said, "We winning." I don't know in how many games, but we win in them. So he was confident even before the Thunder have looked a little bit shaky in this postseason, haven't performed quite as well as they had in the regular season, and gotten a little bit more tight in the finals. He was still convinced that his team was better. On the flip side, when we take a look at what another Thunder MVP had to say, Kevin Durant says, on his Twitter, of course. I'm not big on hypotheticals, so I don't know. But this 2025 Thunder team, they are historically great. Great shooting all across the board, efficient go-to scorer in Deuce, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, size and athleticism all across the board, versatility, shooting big and bruiser big, meaning Chet and Hart, great coaching, just a flat-out perfectly crafted unit. I F with their approach to basketball. They are putting together great film to learn from. That's what Kevin Durant had to say, and this was on, we see, May 29th. So before the finals, if we have performed like we have in the playoffs, like I said, 13th out of the 16 playoff teams in shooting the three, like he said, great shooting all across the board. Does this change things if we can't shoot the basketball great on the way to an NBA Finals loss? This will dictate a lot of people's impact on whether this is A, the greatest Thunder team of all time, and B, this ring, of course, will dispute how great all time great this team is in the grand scheme of NBA history. I can't stress that enough. I can't stress the importance of this game seven enough. This will define the Thunder right now. This will define the Thunder in the future. And this will define a lot of individual players' careers, including the MVP SGA and how his season is viewed all time. If he can cap it off with the finals MVP or if he's going home without that trophy, it's going to make a difference. He's got to be the best player on the floor in game seven. The Thunder have got to win this game seven. It's undisputable. I cannot wait to watch this game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can't too. So I want you to drop a score prediction. So if you get it right, you can say you called it. I want you guys to sub up so you can catch Bryson's post game. So make sure you do that. And this has been a pleasure, a great ride with you guys this season. And this is the last game of NBA basketball. So make sure you savor it, guys. I know I will, and I know I'll be enjoying it, and I know I've enjoyed you guys. This has been Gabriel Ebersole with Thunder Digest. I'll catch you guys in the next one.